Praise God, praise God. Welcome. And let me introduce you, Jesus Christ as John 14:6 was read to us. Let me invite you to open your Bible in John 14:6. And I will read in the New International Version says, Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
Amen.
Through me. Brethren, let me introduce to you Jesus as the I am. This provides us a great truth why no one comes to the Father except only through Jesus. Because He is the I am. Usually we commonly emphasize that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. But we did not emphasize, or we tend to forget the I am, where it has a very significant meaning and truth for us to realize why no one comes to the Father except through Jesus alone. John 5:39. Apostle John says, you diligently search the Scriptures because you think in them you have eternal life. And it is they that bear witness about who? About me, about Jesus. About Jesus. In the Gospel of John, the I am sayings is very significant, or say very unique in the book of John. There are 7 occasions where Jesus used the term I am to emphasize who He is in the person and ministry of Jesus. Referring to Himself, Jesus says, I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I am the true vine. So in 7 occasions, which represents the perfect number, telling us about who Jesus is. The I am statements, as I've said, is unique to John's Gospel. As first-person statements by Jesus Himself, these form a significant part of His self-revelation. Self-revelation. The I am statements tell us who Jesus was. And the I am statements tell us more about who God is. If you read John chapter 1, first you will find why. So the I am statements are important. They make significant predications about Jesus by using metaphors as connected with bread, light, vine, and so on and so forth. The phrase I am is used in the Old Testament as a description of himself. As I've checked my Bible, we have this, you'll find some Bibles, we have the cross-referencing of the text, New Testament to the Old Testament. And it's very interesting that the cross-reference with like a footnote, after the word, the phrase I am, there's a footnote in my Bible here that refers back to Exodus 3:14, where God identified himself to Moses that I am, that I am. You will read that later on. After Jesus' resurrection, the disciples were beginning to doubt whether Jesus was actually the Messiah that they've been waiting for, that according to the prophets. And then at the time Jesus appeared to the first two disciples, as after the walk through Emmaus Road, and then after that he expounded that at the beginning that Moses and all the prophets, according to Luke 24:27, he expounded to them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. Concerning himself. And if you look at it, the theme of the Bible is Jesus. As the Bible is structured, that the first two chapters talks about the paradise created without sin. And starting in chapter 3 and to Revelation 20, it's all about Jesus. All these messianic prophecies, all these prophecies. And it gives us the idea, the story of the lostness of humanity. But it's not all about us, but it's all about Jesus. He entered into our history to bring in His story that provides the solution in order to have that final restoration, ultimate restoration, where Revelation 21 to 22 talks about the paradise restored. So, this is the Bible. The Bible. The first and the last two chapters provides us our beginning and our future if we accept Jesus. His story. Invite His story. He came into our story so that we may be restored from our lostness. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him should not perish, but will have eternal life. So every book of the Bible, whether through symbol or reality, reveals some phase of His redemptive work, His divine identity, and His divine character. The theme of the Bible is Jesus. Jesus, as the living Word, is the theme of the Bible as the written Word. The Old Testament sets forth Jesus as the Messiah, and the New Testament reveals Jesus as the Savior and the coming King of Kings. The Bible reveals God and exposes humanity. The Bible exposes our problem and reveals God's solution. Jesus as the I am. It was interesting that the song that was sung during the Day of Foretoning, that Jesus is the solution to the problem. The Bible presents us as lost, estranged from God, and reveals Jesus as the one who finds and reconciles us back to God. So you would say, brethren, that Jesus is the I am of the Old Testament. Jesus said to them, truly, truly, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am. John 8:15. So the I am who I am, or basically in Hebrew, the tetragrammaton. And he says this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you. This is the statement of God when he appeared to Moses in Exodus 3:14, the rainbow, in the Old Testament. This is exactly the Hebrew word. The I am is the source of all beings, the being inherent in himself. It is the necessary being. Everything else is contingent being that derives existence from the I am. And there is God. And there is God. So brethren, as you read again, as you open your Bible in John 14:6, don't forget, as we emphasize the way, the truth, and the life, that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, lest we forget, let us have a new meaning, a new perspective, the importance of the I am, because this is the reason why no one comes to the Father except through him, because of his divine identity. Jesus is the second person of the Godhead, the I am. And you would read in many passages about the titles of Jesus that declares his divine identity. He is the Redeemer, Lion of Judah, Holy One, Prince of Peace, Mighty God, Savior, Everlasting Father, Lord of all, Mighty One, and so on and so forth. This only gives us, that provides us more evidence that Jesus is really the Messiah. Amen. And there are evidences that proves that Jesus is the Messiah. Even as I checked in Arabic, as we call Isa al-Masih, the word Masih derives from, because it's Arabic and Hebrew, they belong to one Semitic language, and root words are actually the same, talking about that Jesus is the Messiah. And one of the evidences is miraculous birth. And this is exactly what we are doing here during the journey. Isaiah 7:14, it was prophesied, behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. And this is exactly fulfilled. His birthplace was prophesied. In Micah 5:2, Bethlehem, out of you shall come forth to me the one to be ruler in Israel. And Matthew 2:1 says Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judah. Another evidence because of his betrayal, it was prophesied in Psalm 41:9, even my own familiar friend in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted up his heel against me. And this is fulfilled by Judas in John 13:26. It is he whom I shall give a piece of bread when I have dipped in it. The price paid to the traitor. Zechariah 11:12, so they paid me 30 pieces of silver, and this is fulfilled. Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priest and asked, what are you willing to give me if I hand him over to you? And so they counted up for him 30 silver coins. That's a fulfillment in the New Testament. His beating and abuse. It was prophesied Isaiah 56. I offered my back to those who beat me, my cheeks to those who pulled out my beard. I did not hide my face from mocking and spitting. It was fulfilled. Matthew 26:67. Then did they spit in his face and buffeted him, and others smote him with the palms of their hands, and they pierced his hands and feet. It was prophesied as well that all this Psalm 22:16, "He pierced my hands and feet." And John 20:25, "Unless I see the nail," this is Thomas talking. After the resurrection, he doubted. And he said, there's a condition, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were." So that proves that he was pierced in his hands and feet. He was numbered with transgressors. Isaiah 53:12, "Numbered with the transgressors," and fulfilled. Mark 15:27, "With him he crucified two thieves, one on his right hand and the other on his left. And the scripture was fulfilled which said, and he was numbered with the transgressors," referring to the Old Testament prophecy about it. He cast lots for his clothing. Psalm 22:18, "They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing though they cast lots." John 19:23, "Then the soldiers took his outer garments and made four parts. And they said, Let us not tear it, but cast lots for it, whose it shall be." It's the fulfillment of the prophecy in the Old Testament. His words on the cross. Psalm 22:1, "My God," this is what we call one of the shitty palabras, during Holy Week. My God, why hast thou forsaken me?" And exactly this is the words that Jesus uttered before he died. My God, why have you forsaken me?" It's a fulfillment of that messianic prophecy. This proves, brethren, that Jesus, as the I Am, provides us his divine identity and his divine character. While we do not believe that Jesus was born December 25, always an issue, but we do believe in his incarnation. While we cannot find the word incarnation in the Bible, inasmuch as the word Trinity we cannot find in the Bible, but we both believe in these two fundamental doctrines in the Bible. The incarnation. Because John chapter 1, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." And 14, verse 14, "And the Word became flesh." Incarnation. Incarnate. In the flesh. That's exactly in Spanish. Incarnate. In the flesh. Incarnation.
Carne.
"And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And we have seen his glory. Glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth." Brethren, let me present to you Jesus Christ as the I Am.
Amen.
Sometimes we spend so much, all our energies to find the way, to find the truth, to find life. But all this reside in Jesus as the I Am. Because no one comes to the Father except through him alone.
Amen.
Because he is the Son of God. He is the second person of the Godhead. He is the one that connects us back, that reconciles us back to God. So here is the I Am. As Jesus said, "Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person, and they with me." This morning, brethren, Jesus is out the door of your heart.
Amen.
As many of the testimonies, as I spend much time at the back every after group after the journey with the prayers, with shared testimonies from our people, testifying that it brought them closer to Jesus. This journey to Bethlehem. Give them strength. It encourages them to have that relationship with Jesus. So Jesus is inviting us to open the doors of our hearts and be the only way, the truth, and life. Because He is the I am. And no one comes to the Father except through Him. May Jesus be in our lives and be part of our story. In the story of lostness, let's invite this story into our own story so that He will be reconciled to God. Because Jesus is the I am. And He wants to connect and to relate with you. May our walk in life will be guided by Jesus Christ, who is our Savior, who is our God. May the Lord bless us this morning as we start with you.
I know when Spirit.